Hello, church. We're looking at Genesis chapters 15 and 16 today for our daily Bible reading. In this chapters, we're going to see the importance of patience. And so God's going to make a promise to Abraham, and we're going to see that unfortunately Abram doesn't take the patience and trust in God and takes matters into his own hands in chapter 16. But before we get there, we're going to see, starting in verse 1, God makes this promise to Abraham. So let's see what that is. Starting in verse 1. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Do not fear, Abram. I'm a shield to you. Your reward shall be very great." Now that sounds great, right? Who wouldn't like to be told they're getting a great reward from God? But Abram's immediate response back to God is like, "But God, I don't have an heir. I don't have a son. Me and my wife, we haven't had any kids, so we don't really have descendants to pass down everything you've already blessed us with. So what's going to happen?" And God says, "Don't worry about it. I am going to take care of it. Just basically have patience." But then he speaks of some longer term blessings and plans that I'm sure would blow Abram's mind, right? And so we're going to drop down to verse 13 and 15 and see how God's view of how his plan of using Abram's faith is really going to come along. So let's jump down to verse 13 and read this. God said to Abram, "Know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, where they will be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. But I will also judge the nation whom they serve, and afterward they will come out with many possessions. As for you, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You will be buried at a good old age." Right? So he makes them this promise: you're going to have a great nation. But then he tells them, look, it's not going to be great for them. For 400 years, they are going to be enslaved in another nation. Now, 400 years sounds like you're going to need some patience to endure slavery. But that's what God says. Look, but even on the other side of it, you'll come out with many great possessions, and they will come back and inherit this land that God has given Abram. But it's going to take time. So my encouragement to you today is, as you're reading this, and just be thinking, what are things that God is telling you to have patience with? Once again, it may not be exactly according to your timetable or your desires, but realize that God has a purpose and plan for everything that's happening in your life. And part of it is for you to develop trust and patience, knowing that everything is going to happen according to his timing. So be diligent, trust God, obey him, but know ultimately his purposes will prevail according to his timeline. So be patient. All right, church, have a great day.